Giants, where are you? The first time we ever come in the studio together, you're going to be not even around. Why is there hay leading all the way to your bedroom, and why is there a yarmulke on the floor? Giants!
I'm taking a shit!
While riding a pony.
Yes!
You Jewish prick on a pony.
What up, buddy?
What's up?
We don't ever do this together in the same place, ever. How did this happen?
I don't know. This is kind of a mystery, huh?
I mean, yeah. I guess the powers that be let us get together for the first time in God knows how long.
I know, right?
Last time we hung out, I think I rode with you, ain't that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Actually, no, we were doing detective work on your children.
Oh, that's right.
If you remember that.
That's right, yeah.
His kids are taking the school bus for the first time, and he's a little apprehensive about it. So
just a little.
We totally just camped the bus stop and totally were looking at children sitting there. Totally not. But no, we were watching his kids to make sure they got home safe, and everybody's children got home safe.
Exactly. So I think you mentioned it, but we can let those that don't see it physically. We're actually in studio together.
I know. This will hopefully be less editing for me, because I usually have to cut out like these second, half-second, 2-second gaps, because you're just hearing me from the delay of us being in separate locations. Hopefully this is less editing for me.
Hopefully. Yeah, that's what we hope. So welcome to episode 2 of season 2
of the Purple Heart Gaming Podcast. This is Chris, I am Giants, and we are here today. We got a lot to talk about on the list today.
And again, we're going to be solo without a guest. We will have some guests, I think, later in the season, but we're just trying to get the ball back rolling. We're not on another hiatus like a Fox series.
No more hiatus. We do have some interesting information to find with some of our guests, though. Obviously, we have Shane, who is missing a part of him, not figuratively, literally. Stay tuned for that episode.
Slade is almost out of the dating pool, it sounds like.
Yeah, Slade is about 75% of the way from getting his willy played with. Good for him. Anything new with Aries, really? He's running for sheriff, ain't he?
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking April Fool's Day he put on his social media that he was running for sheriff of the local county.
Yeah. That was great.
I laughed at it.
I did too.
Sydney, not Sydney. Wait, no, I'm kidding about it. It is Cindy, not Sydney.
It's not Sydney. It's Cindy.
Cindy believed that for a second. And then
really?
Yes, and then I had to remind her what day it was. It was April 1st.
I read it first, no lie. I read it and I was like, I'm about to... Oh, yeah, it's April 1st.
Yeah, I was about to say, what in God's green earth is
because anybody that went to work for that county, I would have freaking...
Yeah.
Not currently. Maybe, we got some changes coming. I think there'll be some good changes, but...
Yeah, they're getting a new sheriff.
Right. We exactly are. So, yeah, Aries and I work in the same county, not same agency, not for that particular place, but...
A lot going on in the world. We'll start with some of the good news. First of all, I have an interview in 2 weeks for the agency. Yeah. I got the phone call yesterday, April 1st of all days, which is funny, but that's not the funny part. I may or may not have missed that call by a good 15 minutes because I was too busy, as we say, hiding the salami where I'm from.
You and her were playing with the electrical eel, is that correct?
I mean, I guess that's one way of putting it. Riding the pony's getting on your period. Whoops. That ain't the right euphemism here.
Yeah, you were dumping in OxyClean into the laundry load.
Yeah, I dropped 3 loads yesterday, and 2 of them were laundry, and we'll just leave it at that.
In all reality, when you told me this, I looked at today, I said, yeah, right, motherfucker, you're not fucking with me on this one.
Nah, I wasn't fucking with you, it's the truth. But I have that interview in a couple of weeks. I actually have to call them when we're done this to make sure, because they never gave me the location. I'm pretty sure I know it's at the actual PD, but they've had some stuff at some other locations, so I gotta call them and double check.
It's gonna be behind the 7-Eleven, yo.
Yeah. Gonna be behind Black's Hardware. You've been doing some EMR classes.
I have been, yeah. So, yeah, back in the day, I started off as an emergency medical tech. Of course, that's so expired that it's not even funny. Yeah. And, it was kind of a big regret I let that expire. But, when you're young, stupid, and you move on to a different part of your life that you think you're not going to use that anymore, well, it does come back to haunt you years later. For those that don't know, EMR, emergency medical response, but used to be called emergency care attendant, which is the level below emergency medical tech. So yeah, I started those classes yesterday. I'm going to do this for about a month and a half and get recertified. So
there you go. You're going to be able to take my breath away and give me CPR, huh? That reminds me of the time at the bar with that chick from freaking the university over there.
Oh, God.
For those that don't know, I got very inebriated one night, and I decided it was a good idea to go hang out at a local bar. And I'm talking to this girl. She's from the local university, and she's a nursing student. So, drunk me in all of my wisdom decides to say, hey, you want to go back to your place and practice our rescue breaths? And Chris is laughing real hard because it was stupid enough to work, and I ended up going to bed with her.
All I gotta say is it worked. I mean, like, my luck, it would not have worked.
I don't know how with my luck it did work in all reality, but we also have that. So just a reminder, let's say, hey, those medic girls are cute. Those nursing students especially.
Well, I'm not lying, they're not.
They are.
I don't know how I don't have a wife that's a nurse, to be honest with you, but whatever. I told you. Do what I didn't do. You got that opportunity.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, what do you tell me to do?
Let's see. When you get ready to settle down, you find you another cop or a nurse, because nobody else is going to have this sixth sense of humor that we're going to have.
Not even a dispatcher?
Oh, yeah, a dispatcher would also come in a close third.
You just got to be careful with them. They might
turn into a Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
A lot of gorges there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if you're flying a 747 in there; it still looks small when you're flying into the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, sure does. Yeah. Absolutely.
But
Shannon got that reference. But
yeah, a few people get that reference.
So I mean, we got some stuff going on in the world. We're going to discuss. Obviously, we talked a little bit about the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse this last week.
Yeah, and since then I've heard that a couple more have had some incidents.
Oh my Lord, there's been a nightmare on bridges. You know, after 9/11, air travel got to be scary. Now you can't even travel on the highway going over a bridge without thinking something's going to happen. Oklahoma, right after the event, had a barge hit another bridge and close that highway down. Luckily, nobody was hurt, nobody was injured. But like, how do you miss as a captain of a boat? How do you miss a bridge?
A captain and not a pilot.
Nah, I said a captain.
Well, the first one, obviously the major tragedy here, that one was...
well, yeah, I mean, we know what happened there. They lost power. That I don't think anything could have prevented that.
Yeah, but what is the reason for these other three? What's going on here? Well, I think that's the main question here. What is going on?
What is going on? And, they haven't really said about the Oklahoma one, but the thing is in my mind, like, this isn't like a squirrel darting out in front of a car kind of thing. Like, what is this freaking captain's boat? Here we go. Oh, there's a bridge. Nice. Yeah. And then I guess a truck or something unrelated to a boat, but a bridge in the Dallas area took out like half of a freaking overhead bridge over a highway. And
truck did?
Truck did.
How'd that happen?
I don't know.
A lot of people have their CDL, like a CDL truck.
Yeah.
A lot of people have their CDLs that probably shouldn't. They have actually made the the requirements to get that a lot harder over the past few years.
That's what I hear.
Because back in the day, you just kind of needed to know how to do a pre-trip inspection. At this point, from what I've been told, you need to actually know, and they want it done in a specific order of your pre-check and getting all that shit. It's a lot harder, from what I've heard, to get your CDL. And, I mean, I feel like part of that's a good thing, but I also feel like it's not. Right now, I work around car haulers, so it's one of those things that everybody's hurting for truckers. That whole industry is hurting, regardless. But
yeah, they are.
Just making the requirements harder. I mean, there's some dipshit fucking truck drivers out there.
Yes,
but
there is.
It's just one of those things, man. What is the right answer? Is this the right answer? Is it not? I don't know.
Right.
Call back in about 10 years and we'll find out.
Yeah.
We need to start... we need to have guest callers one day. We'll have to do it at like the end of every season. You guys can call live here on the Purple Art Gaming Podcast. Caller, where are you from? What's your name? And what do you want to talk about? Hi, my name's Billy. I'm 13 years old and I'm here to play baseball.
Beep, 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 beep. Oh, I'm sorry. We lost Billy.
Yeah.
So, Chris Jr.'s in town.
Chris Jr. is in town.
Yeah. So, we give a shout out to her. Yeah. That's my niece, who's, figuratively and a lot of the words looks just like me.
I'm saying this right now. I know, because I know Chris, I know he did not screw his brother's wife, but if there was a remote chance he did, his nieces look just like him, like carbon fucking copies of him.
It's scary. It's quite scary. If I have a bio kid, I know what they're gonna turn out.
They're gonna. Well, at this rate, it's gonna end up looking like your brother.
Well, my luck. Well, I guess we'll have something in common. Bald.
How long is she in town for?
She leaves Thursday, actually, so I'll try to do a little something with her Thursday, and I'll probably end up having to run her back to the airport, so...
And these are the same people that you're going out to Cali to...
Correct,
for the graduation.
Yeah, that we talked about the Southwest deal. And you and I finally finalized our plans today to get your brother. Yeah.
So, that was really cool.
Because we were originally going to drive this stupid thing, and, as much as I like driving and doing trips with you, as we've done several times over the years we've been friends, the less in a car, the better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, taking a 20-hour trip one time is good. Or is good enough, really. But
you're talking 40 hours complete.
Yeah, that's a whole fucking work week driving. Just literally, it would have been driving out there 20 hours almost, grabbing them, and then having to drive the 20 hours back, not being able to enjoy a little bit of time out in Florida.
Right.
With this plan, we have a little bit of time in Florida. We have about a day and a half in Florida to... Yeah. I can show you some shit that I didn't get to show you when y'all came to my wedding originally, or other things that are out there,
Like
some
bridges.
Huh?
Like bridges.
Bridges, yep. They got the St. Pete Bridge out there. We could probably hit that on the way.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that with the sensitive climate we got. Ooh. We could probably ride on the bridges, not hit anything on them.
Might want to do that.
Yeah. But no, we can definitely hit the St. Pete Bridge. I can show you. I believe we can take the St. Pete Bridge, and I can show you where the Tampa Bay Rays play.
Oh,
and then we'll go back onto 75, take 75 to 10, and just cut across the rest of the way. Yeah. And then we'll have to visit Shane on the way back, too.
Yeah.
Because we'll take the back way home.
Yeah, I know that way.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a good trip.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it.
Me too, man, me too.
So, obviously, we got, the eclipse upon us here in less than a week?
Less than a week,
6 days, sir. 6 days. There's a lot of talk about how that's going to be affected. I'm subject to call on my days off starting this week all the way till the eclipse happens.
Yeah.
We've got cameras up on every intersection in town. They're calling for 1.5 million people.
That's nuts, man.
Every motel and hotel, and I think I did a 100-mile radius. It's completely booked.
I believe it. And the crazy part is, people are spending all this time, all this money to come out here.
3 minutes.
What happened for 4 minutes?
4 minutes.
4 minutes. Number one, I've never had somebody get excited like this for 4 minutes with me. Number one. Number two, what happens if it's fucking cloudy outside, like they're saying it might be?
I guess you're kind of screwed.
You came out to Texas for a 4 minute, a cool experience, but a 4 minute experience.
It probably cost you a shit ton of money.
Yeah. For possibly not being able to even see it. For us, I bought the fucking glasses, right?
Yeah, they're right beside me.
Yeah, they were, I think, like $1, which, that's overpriced, because they literally look like 3D movie glasses. But they just have, instead of the blue and the red filter, it's completely black. It's like, you could probably fall asleep with those things on, and it's like completely blacked out. You're looking at them right now.
I'd say they make good blackout glasses when you're trying to sleep.
Yeah, they do. They're just completely black, and we looked at the sun with them on, and you can see the sun, so it's probably...
South Park. Oh, they killed Kenny.
You're an asshole. But it's like, for us, being here in the epicenter of it all, it's nice, because I just literally spent $2, and that's all I spent, and I can
still go outside and see the whole thing.
Yeah, I can still see the whole thing. But you got all these people that are going to try and come in. I'm worried about people straggling out this far.
Oh, yeah.
For those that don't know,
you're way out in the country.
Yeah, pretty deep in the country. And I'm worried about people fucking coming out this way and just,
there's
chilling.
places that are out in the country that have actually, leased out their, spare pastures and things.
Yeah.
On their land. And they're making some money off this. It's a money-making opportunity for people if they have the opportunity to grab it.
So, that little town just north of you with the pool? That's what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There's that church up there?
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. Yeah.
And they have RV sites at that church, right? For, if you are having a wedding there or whatever, you can bring the RV, and there's a central dump station and shit like that. But there's a few sites. I think there's 40 sites.
Yeah.
So that instead of driving to a hotel or whatever, you just bring your camper and you go there. They rented all 40 of those sites out, $500 for the weekend. I learned that at work. Then I'm like, that shit's crazy because I got people that I work with that are up there.
Really?
Yeah, they live up there. A few of them. But yeah, no, it's just crazy, man. Even what was it? A Motel 6 was fucking like $700 a night.
It was up there.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Fortunately, you're going to be working on that. Fortunately, I'm off, but you're working on that. Yeah. So, what's kind of the consensus right now?
Well, I mean, we're still up in arms. We have no idea. We're really concerned about communication.
Yeah,
and that's all the way around, from radios that we use in public safety to cell phones. Because I mean, you look at mass events that we've had, and I hate to refer to 9/11, but 9/11 was a good time setter, and we were dealing with different technology. Obviously, I get that, but yeah. You take that many people in the epicenter of some problem, it clogs the system up where you can't get. I mean, obviously, we're worried about losing any kind of communication. That's text, that's calls, internet. And not to mention, people are already losing their minds. We're going off Oregon. Oregon, I don't know all the studies that was done when Oregon had this a few years ago, but they had some problems.
Yeah.
They had some riots on the highway. They had mass congestion. I mean, and I'll be frankly honest, if we end up having the problems that Oregon did, and we're on a larger scale than Oregon, we're literally probably going to be walking to calls.
Didn't y'all get gators?
We do. We do have a couple of gators that are on standby, some ATV kind of vehicles. Even then, it's going to be questionable not whether or not we can get to people. Yeah. We've already been warned that getting an ambulance to us, our ambulance service is not in town. Our ambulance service comes from about 15 to 20 minutes from the north, or south, I should say. And they, I mean, we very well could be transporting people in a mass event any way we can.
Well, I already told you, if you have something fun to do, I'll volunteer with you.
It's going to be a chaotic event. We're literally got an email today that we're on standby. Like I said, I have a couple days off coming, and I'm subject to call in on those days if it goes south.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you don't need to get called in. You'll have enough energy to handle this situation.
I mean, the event itself is my normal work day, so I'm not really adding anything to the boat. So it's going to be an interesting deal. I know we're just kind of a wait and see situation. I hate to say, I kind of hope the weather does go a little south on the side of public safety.
I mean, that's fair, man. I mean, there's going to be, your county's already declared an emergency. Has our county here declared an emergency already?
Yeah.
They finally did? Okay.
Most of everybody. I also saw that the highway department is not allowing any oversized loads or any oversized load permits.
Good.
So that's going to help, because if we shut the interstates down.
No, that's a good thing.
It's not going to be good.
We're going to be transporting people in fucking gators to...
If you're lucky enough to get a gator to them. I mean, if you're not carrying them down yourselves and trying to get to someplace that's not on the lower level of a highway. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, this isn't Armageddon. Well, it may not be, but you add 1.5 million people to an already populated area that's not ready for it.
I was saying, this is already a decently sized, population dense area.
We are.
I mean, it's not a big city like Dallas or Houston.
We're not dealing with that. However, we are dealing with an area that does have a consensus population already.
Yeah, and I think what's crazy is the fact that it seems like y'all are already shorthanded as it is.
We are. We're very shorthanded.
And some of these other, I know the county you work in, a lot of those agencies are already shorthanded.
Yeah, so they are. And I heard from Aries that I guess they're going to have 100 officers on in that particular day.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. They basically have everybody.
Everybody. I mean,
they're going to have. I think I was talking to them the other day about this. They're going to have their detectives in the streets.
Yep.
And everybody
that can carry a badge, from what I understand.
Yeah.
It's going to be nuts. It's just worried about what does occur and how we are able to respond, because like I said, if we can't get to you, I don't know what to say.
Some people are going to be shit out of luck, and it's going to be an awful situation. But are you guys getting any either state or federal help with this stuff?
State is monitoring. Our state emergency management is very good. They are monitoring things, but however, they're spread thin. You're talking about a huge area. I mean, this is basically going to cover most of the state.
It's going right over the fucking triangle here.
Yep. Go straight up, and then it's going up into, I guess what?
I think Arkansas.
Yeah, and going further from there. So
yeah,
it's going to be an interesting deal for, like you said, basically 4 minutes.
It's going to the northeast, and it's going to stop, we're going to stop seeing it at Maine. So it's literally going that northeastern direction in a kind of like an arc, all the way from here in Texas all the way up to Maine in a matter of a couple hours.
Yeah, it's going to be quick. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully we're hoping for the worst, but preparing for the.
You're hoping for the best, preparing for the worst.
Correct.
We'll make that clear. You're not hoping for the worst.
No, we're not hoping for the worst. We don't want the worst. Trust me.
No, you're gonna have to definitely keep me posted on that when you're working, and I'm just sitting here in the studio. drinking some Fireball and enjoying my day.
So, I mean, you've made some changes, like switch gears. You're no longer on dating apps, as I understand.
No, I decided that basically after me and Cindy, fuck. I'll get this right one day. After me and Cindy broke up, I originally took myself off the dating apps.
I remember that.
And I decided at one point just to try again, see what happened. I wanted to try something new. And that didn't end up working out. And I just kind of it just turned into a new doom scrolling activity because I've cut off YouTube Shorts. I've cut off a whole bunch of shit, which there'll be more detail on that on my personal channel.
Yeah,
because I'm doing a whole.
You got that blog going on now.
I got a vlog going with a bunch of
great.
A journey, blah 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 blah. But I deleted the dating apps because I was just kind of tired and done and over with them. He wasn't getting much anything. The matches that I was getting was a bunch of shit that was just like, I mean, they were shit. It's one of those things at this point. I'm cutting myself off of all of that. If something falls into my lap, obviously I'll look into it. But
if by falling in your lap you mean a large-breasted blonde Scandinavian, yeah, sure.
I mean, yeah, obviously. But if something falls into my lap, I'll take it. But I have more important shit to be dealing with right now than fucking doom scrolling on dating apps.
Doom scrolling. Again, we go with the words we talk about. I had it last week. Doom scrolling.
You've never heard of doom scrolling? That's not one of mine. I cannot come up with that. No. Doom scrolling is basically if you're on social media or anything like that and you're just scrolling and letting time go by and you're not really paying attention and all of a sudden you look up, shit, I've been watching YouTube for 3 hours. Or I've been watching TikTok for 2 hours. Or something like that. That's doom scrolling. Yeah, so that's what dating apps just kind of became to me. It was a thing of doom scrolling. And I just kind of decided that, number one, it's not really bringing myself any value anyway. But number two, I have more important shit than I need to worry about right now. With this interview in 2 weeks, with hopefully going to the academy in, 2 months?
Yep.
Going to Florida next month,
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. And I think a lot of people kind of forget that it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be just living on your own life, working on your own shit before you worry about trying to add somebody else into that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people get over concentrated with that thought that they kind of overstep themselves.
And I've been guilty of that more times than I think I can count, but it's like just one of those things, man.
Yeah, for sure. So
you're looking up word of the weeks.
Yeah, I forgot we were gonna have that segment. Yeah,
all right, we'll save that for later. I see you looking at your phone, and I saw pass hole.
That is you just ruined it.
Oh, you were gonna use that?
Yes.
Well, shit.
I guess we might as well go ahead and say it then.
The word of the week is
pass hole.
Pass hole.
A driver who is not allowed to pass him or her in traffic will not allow you to pass him or her in traffic.
Oh,
so that's going to be the word of the week, folks. Pass hole. So let's see some of those pass holes vlogs back to us.
Yeah, some pass holes in your reports or in your interviews or things like that. But anyway, deleting dating apps for good. Yeah. I basically made a bet with not only myself but Cindy. Basically we both made the kind of a bet agreement, whatever, that I'm not going to be looking for any kind of dating apps, hookups, anything like that until I am completely
finished training.
Yeah, thank you. Why was that so hard for me?
I don't know, but you have a hard time with a lot of things, so it's okay.
Yeah.
He's like a lazy Susan, folks. He will come back around to his thought.
Yeah, fuck you. Call me lazy Susan because I keep on spinning.
Oh, so I guess, a lot of the talk's been along a lot of blogs, a lot of podcasts about the Quiet on the Set documentary that just came out for,
I have not watched that yet.
I haven't either. I've only
what is it on?
I'm not even sure what it's being posted on. But I think it was Investigative Channel or
it was Investigation Discovery.
That's it. That's it. So yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff's came out about what Dan Snyder.
He was an executive producer for Nickelodeon on a lot of shows that I grew up with. iCarly, The Amanda Show,
Drake and Josh.
Yep, that was all.
Apparently, I guess he was part of the end of all that as well.
Yeah, those were all his shows.
He apparently was a big creep.
Well, we've known that for years now, but this is technically the second time because they started talking about. I don't think they could really find anything
the first time.
Like anything concrete. But there were tons of things like his foot fetish for children, and I mean, you just watch some of his shows and think, oh, it's innocent kid shit. Well, it's kind of gross. It's kind of like how who was it? Quentin Tarantino has a foot fetish, so he casted himself in a movie that this girl's fucking pouring liquor down her leg, down her foot, and he casted himself in that role to drink the liquor off her legs and her feet.
Wow.
It's like gross shit like that. And I mean, those are two adults that consented to being in that role. So that's completely different.
But
this is children's television.
You start victimizing children and children at large. And that's the problem that I see in this, you know.
Well, here's the thing. Look at the majority of children, not just the Nickelodeon. Children stars Disney or whatever else.
Oh, yeah.
Porn, drugs, dead, whatever.
It's a very hard lifestyle because I think once they get stereotyped into those roles, it's hard for them to escape that. I mean, I don't know.
But how much of it is that? And now all of a sudden you're seeing this documentary, which we still need to watch. I think we should watch it this week and talk more about it next week.
Yeah.
But talking about just the abuse that these kids go through, not only just on Nickelodeon side, this is a Hollywood fucking epidemic. These older people are fucking creeps.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, it's been shown time and time again, the corruption of fucking media and Hollywood and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, but it's just crazy. I mean, Amanda fucking Bynes.
That
was my first celebrity crush growing up as a kid. I loved the Amanda Show, man.
And look where she's kind of went down the drain.
Yeah. One of the movies, you remember She's the Man?
Yep.
She was in that movie. One of the most paused scenes in all of cinematic history was when she pulls her tits up to show at the end. To show that she's really good. That's supposedly, from what I've heard, one of the most paused scenes in all of, if not modern media, the media as a whole, as a bunch of guys trying to fucking pause it at the right second to see if they can see some nipple. And you know what the worst part is? I was like, let's see. That movie came out in 2006, I think, so I was about 8 years old.
Yeah.
I know at 8 years old, I tried on more than one occasion the same thing, pause, play, pause, play, pause, play. That's one of the first time. That was probably one of the first times that I had really been interested in the female gender like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But, you know, the documentaries brought out, I guess, that Drake Bell was abused by this idiot.
Yeah, supposedly he was abused as well, which is interesting. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that because supposedly he just recently got
he just got freaking slandered with it, and you would think somebody who's been victimized would not want to turn others into victims, but I don't know. I don't have that ideology. I don't know.
I'm sorry, we don't, fortunately, but it's one of those things because he just went to court recently, and
he was sentenced on it.
I
think he actually was made to register as a sex offender. I'm not 100% sure on that, but
you can look that up real quick while we're talking about it. But I mean, it makes sense how someone who was offended like that can become an offender. That's not completely unheard of, but it's still one of those things. And then it just reminds you of other things too, like fucking R. Kelly and P. Diddy and all that shit. Like this is.
Oh yeah, we've had that come out this week about P. Diddy. This guy, that guy's a creep apparently.
Apparently, let's say, reminds me of fucking. You've heard the R. Kelly shit, right?
Oh, God, yes.
You've heard Chappelle's take on it, right?
Yes, I have.
That's one of my, that's a really good fucking take.
It actually is. Chappelle usually does.
Yeah, it's one of it. I think it's on his first Netflix special back after, his trip from Africa and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's talking about it. It's like, apparently, the sex tape is so graphic that they had to read a transcript.
Oh, my God.
And the term 14-year-old pussy was used at least 24 times, I believe.
Wow.
This is the same guy that pissed on fucking 15-year-old girls and things like that. So
I guess P. Diddy's going to be joining his buddy R. Kelly pretty soon from the side of it.
Yep, in the Cornhole Penitentiary.
Idiot.
Yeah, I don't get it, man.
But in the wake of this whole crap, and I think I told you the other day it's been brought up that Paramount Plus, which is holding some of the Nickelodeon rights now, is doing
they're all owned by Viacom, who owns all of it. Yeah,
they are removing shows that had nothing to do with this whole shit.
Do you think it's related, or do you just think?
I think it's a fallout. I honestly think it's a scapegoat fallout because it's Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon's attached, and they're trying to clear their name off of it, which makes no sense. They're the same company.
Yeah, everybody knows that Nickelodeon is owned by Viacom. So I don't understand, man. I mean, especially shows that are completely unrelated.
Clues?
If you wanted to get rid of the shit that Dan Snyder took care of, like iCarly,
I would have got that.
Jake and Josh, that would have made sense. I get that.
But they didn't.
Why are you removing Rugrats, Blue's Clues, all that shit? Like, what the fuck does that have to do about it? It makes no sense.
You're just hurting your fan base on those shows. It just makes no sense.
Dude, I'll watch fucking Rugrats right now.
No shit.
Like, why are you getting rid of that?
I don't know. That makes no sense to me.
I don't get it either. None of this makes sense. The silver curtain or the black curtain or whatever behind what's going on in the world between Hollywood and the so-called elites and this and that is being
it's
pulled apart.
It's something
and
else.
Let's say, and it's tearing apart our social fabric to an extent too.
It
but
is.
It's going to be interesting to see when we're long gone the status of just the country as a whole. If we're even still here, we didn't fucking blow ourselves up or anything crazy like that.
No shit.
I don't know, man. I really don't. There's just a lot going on in this world right now, and we're just kind of
hanging by the fabric, my friend.
Yeah. Now you kind of know why I personally just like sticking to my own little circle, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I really do.
You can't worry about...
The news is so depressing these days. It's just, you know...
Well, the news is designed to make money and to get viewers, not to deliver the news anymore. It doesn't matter whether you're getting it from the left or the right or wherever. Controversy creates cash.
And that's exactly what the mainstream media has done.
Yeah. So, on both sides.
Right.
It's just one of those things that care more about money. Have you seen the picture, going back to Nickelodeon for a second, have you seen the picture of supposedly how the Nickelodeon logo looks like Epstein's Island?
No.
There's a meme on that, and for those that are listening, you should take a look. Just Google it or however you can find it if Google hasn't tried to suppress it. He's actually looking it up right now.
I gotta see this.
How the Nickelodeon logo looks like Epstein's Island. Let's
Oh yeah,
I mean,
that's pretty scary.
That's scary as shit, ain't it?
That's wow. I don't even have words.
Sorry.
That's not the original Nickelodeon logo, though.
No, it's not.
No, by no means.
You know what's crazy? One of the older ones was a fucking foot, if you remember that.
I remember the blimp-looking one. That's the one I remember.
They had the blimp, yeah. They have one. Look at the Nickelodeon foot logo. Coming from fucking Dan Snyder, who likes children's feet. Just realize how all this shit is kind of coming together.
Oh, yeah, I see that now.
That was my childhood, too. The fucking foot, that splatter right there was the main one, but...
I just remember the blimp one. That's the one I remember. You know, and what's crazy is, that's the one I remember, because I remember the awards being like that.
Yeah.
You know, I've been to Universal Studios in Florida where they originally filmed at. It's so crazy to go there, and the studio's no longer there. It's actually, I think, a vacant building now. I think maybe hosting the new Minions ride in.
Yeah. All this shit, though, how it's just kind of, if at best, it's coincidental how all of this shit is looping into each other.
And I don't know if somebody could fact check me on this or not. I quickly saw a TikTok this morning before I got over here at the studio that apparently supposedly that Dan Snyder did some voice work in Grand Theft Auto 3.
Grand Theft Auto 3, really?
Yeah, he did a couple of pedestrian voices, and apparently the pedestrians were very creepy.
That says a lot right there. But you can't really always believe what you see on the internet, too. So
that's true.
It's just crazy, man.
It's just nuts how this
all these shows that I grew up watching. I mean, they were a little past your time, I think, a lot of them.
But, a lot of more, yeah.
But all these shows that I grew up with being run, and the crazy thing is that people are saying is he was the mild one.
Yeah, you got Brian Peck, who apparently was he's no relation to Drake or Brian Bell, I think it was. Similar name, Drake Bell. They were very same last name.
Right now,
yeah.
I know what you're getting at. Where I'm getting confused watching Drake and Josh, there was Josh Peck, which...
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's his real name. Okay. I always had the problem of confusing their real name with their fucking names on the show. Right. But Josh Peck, no relation to him.
Right. And apparently he was a bigger creep than all of them.
Yeah. It's interesting. This is unrelated, kind of, but I actually listened to an interview about Josh Peck, right?
Right.
And... obviously, everybody kind of knows him as the chunky kid, right?
Right.
That was 4 years of his life. Since he lost that weight towards the end of Drake and Josh, he's kept that shit off. He's known as an in shape.
He's very much a exercise guy.
Yeah, but what's crazy is everybody remembers him for that 4 years of being overweight. So it just shows you how crazy that shit is. There are some public personas that you cannot shed.
Yeah, and that's a hard one for him, apparently.
And apparently, yeah. It's hard for him to shed being the fat kid. But it's sad, man. It really is.
Yeah, it's a bad deal, and no abuse of any kind is good, and at PHG, we do not condone that.
Oh, of course not.
So, just make that clear on every account. It's just, it's so weird this documentary has blown the door open on Nickelodeon.
Yeah. I say, not only Nickelodeon, there's other things that are being talked about too.
Yeah, I think Disney's being under the limelight now. A few others, I think.
Good. Did they ever release the Epstein list?
No, not completely. I don't think.
Okay. It's gonna come out. These people are...
I mean, Stephen Hawkins was the latest one that actually came to light, which I have so many questions about how and why.
Like, ha, you're touching my penis.
Oh, dear God.
I don't think we're going to use that.
Could have done without that visual.
What?
Could have done without that visual. Ooh, boy.
Oh, I'm not sure if we're going to use that, but that was funny.
Moving on. The other day, we talked about the news being depressing, and I think I brought it up a little bit ago, but I said I wanted to try some funny news stories, that some kind of obscure stuff, so I did a little homework on this.
Okay.
And so this is coming out of London, United Kingdom.
Oh, crikey.
That a guy was admitted to the hospital.
A guy was admitted to the hospital.
Car crash injuries.
Car crash injuries, okay.
But he tripped over his house cat.
This guy... What?
He literally has a fractured spine, a broken neck, I think a couple of broken arms, and something to do with his legs as well, injury-wise. I mean, all substantial injuries you would receive in a serious car wreck. He tripped over his cat.
Did he fall down the fucking steps, roll into the street, and get run over by a fucking semi? Like, what the fuck?
That's what I didn't understand. You know, the other thing about it is I thought the type of cats like that weren't allowed in homes in England.
Not unless they're in Texas or Florida, apparently. I actually heard something interesting. You know that the state of Texas has more domesticated tigers or lions,
seriously,
more than there are left in the wild in this country.
Wow.
If not the whole world, I don't know about that, but we in Texas, we love our domesticated fucking
tigers.
It was some sort of feline.
I'm telling you right now, I get a call to a house for an alarm, and I open the door, and there's freaking Felix the tiger staring at me. I'm backing the hell away from there.
I don't blame you.
Funny story enough, talking about alarm calls. I'll get on that to kind of end our basis. Okay. I had an alarm call the other day. It had actually been it was an officer's house. Didn't know that time. He just moved there. And I'm checking the front, and all of a sudden I hear this, hello!
It's a fucking parrot?
Fucking parrot in the window. The popo is here. The popo is here.
Did he really?
Yes.
The popo is here.
Yes.
The fuck?
And I'm like, all I could think back to was Robin Williams.
Pack the car, pack the car. Feed water.
Yeah, that one.
Fuck me, Teddy. Fuck me hard.
Honey, who's Teddy? Well, it's been a great week. This was the first time you and I have ever been in the studio together. So
I know. Awesome. We need to attempt to do this more often.
We do. We actually do. So
I can tell you right now, this is going to be less editing for me.
I think it will be a pretty quick deal. So for those that don't know, episode 1 is up. Yep. What was the name of that one?
Return of the Crack.
Return of the Crack.
Not to be confused with Return of the Mac, Return of the Cast, some of the other things I thought of. It is Return of the Crack. For those that get it, you get it. If not, please listen to episodes 1 through 6, and you'll hopefully pick up on it.
Brought to you by our sponsor,
Purple Heart Gaming.
So, I mean, it's been a great week. I've enjoyed it. I hope everybody out here enjoys it. We're going to try to have a guest. I know we said that this last week, and this week we didn't get that chance. But
getting guests is very difficult sometimes because scheduling conflicts, man. I mean, it's hard enough as it is to get you and I together at the same time in different locations, mind you, for us to record this.
Yeah.
So the fact that us trying to add a third person to the mix, we try to when we can, but trying to get all three of our schedules to work out the way that we can to have a solid hour of recording, it is very difficult sometimes. And you know that, but I'm just saying for everyone else, it can be very difficult to get everyone together. But we're going to try the best we can when the opportunity comes. Major updates for Shane, Slate. We haven't even talked to Robert in a while.
It's been a little bit.
Yeah.
Our friend that was in the very last episode of the last season before the lost tape happened.
Yeah, the lost tape followed by the hiatus.
We found the lost tape. We did find it.
I think I have it in my computer file.
So we're going to release that at some point. I think we'll do something special with that.
Only time will tell. But we'll figure something out. I think we said in the last episode when one episode reaches 1,000 downloads that we would release it.
Yeah.
Which I will wait until that happens to even start editing it. But
well, on that note, since you're yawning and I am too, I guess we're going to call this a week, huh?
Yeah, I guess we should. I'd like to thank everybody for listening today. If you haven't already, make sure to follow us on anywhere that you can find your podcast. I recently changed today so that instead of having to upload YouTube manually, Buzzsprout now allows you to upload to YouTube Direct.
Yeah.
So that'll be really cool.
It's great.
If you want any information on joining Purple Heart Gaming, you can go to purpleheartgaming.com. Information on the podcast as well as joining our community is both on there. Follow us on Facebook. What else do we have? I think we just have Facebook.
Facebook. I think there may be a couple of 3 or 4 videos floating around on TikTok, but who knows? Who even cares about that site?
Yeah. I'm saying they're going to end up banning TikTok from here soon.
Yeah,
if they haven't already. Because they've already banned porn.
Yeah,
yeah, it's almost impossible to watch porn in Texas now, apparently. So.
Jeez. Yep. So thanks, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you next week.
On the
Purple Heart Gaming Podcast.